Troy Seelye. I was actually reading the race. So you got J.J. Scarborough and Troy Seelye, who's running for jailer, and you got the Republican who's running against the Democrat, right? And Troy Seelye had talked to the Meade County Messenger in 2007 and answered a bunch of specific questions about the budget and about you know, having inmates working out on the roads, whether or not the state, there's a half the county, half the jails for the county, another half of the jails for the state. So there's a lot of things that, you know, he's actually addressing many issues. So he's a very smart man. He's very intelligent. And again, I don't know his politics, but he's answering all these questions really well, well in depth. And it seems like this author actually has an agenda. So I'm impressed by the way he answered all these questions. Your opponent in the election hounded you over the past handling of the jail's canteen fund. This fund is established for the benefits of inmates and managed by jailers in each county jail. So there's a jail canteen fund. And for some reason, the canteen fund is established for the benefit of the inmates and is managed by the jailers in each county jail. The FY04 audit of the jail revealed accounting problems with this fund. What has been your reaction to this challenge? Once we found out what the auditors wanted, we implemented procedures that corrected the problem. We also contracted with an outside vendor to streamline canteen operations. My deputy no longer have to go shopping for sundry items for inmates. Now inmates order items from a computerized list, which the canteen administrator then transmit to the vendor. The vendor then fills the order and delivers the goods, which are segregated from all other prisoners' orders. This is both efficient and provides excellent accounting and record keeping. The FY05 audit no longer lists any areas of non-compliance concerning the jail canteen fund. The verbal results from the audit just completed show our records in good order. During the election campaign last year, much was made by you about figures taken from Kentucky jails, a financial overview, a comprehensive analysis of spending by each of Kentucky's county jails, a study by the state's auditor, Crit Llewellyn. These figures compared operational and capital costs of jails across the Commonwealth that flattered your jail administration. Can you speak to inconsistencies of numbers provided in the report? No, that information came from the state. I didn't perform the study. I merely answered the questions. I don't know. There's a lot. Again, it goes on and on. Let's see. When comparing per capita contribution per capita regarding what the jail costs each resident yearly, the state average is $20.88 and Meade County's is $9.84. But this is reported incorrectly as it doesn't include the cost of building a new county jail. As reported in fiscal year 05, the county augments the jail's budget by $278,000 per year. However, none of this accounts for the cost of paying off the jail itself. There's one further point which needs to be made. Jailers are responsible to their communities for the effective and efficient operation of their jails. Operational costs are costs resulting from the day-to-day operating of the jail. Capital costs result from the investment of the community in building a jail or improving the actual grounds or building. As the state auditor's study available at the website below points out, our jail compares favorably with its peers regarding operational costs in spite some of the discrepancies in the numbers. The jailers are responsible for the capital cost of his jail. The policymakers for the county fiscal court decide to build a new jail and how much to spend on it. As long as there's a requirement for our society to furnish a place to send those among us unable or unwilling to follow the rules, we need a jail. The need for a jail will remain. However, this need will be met not by jailers, but by policymakers on behalf of all of us. So there's another good distinction. The actual jail itself is the judge executive, and it's the fiscal court and the, you know, some of the other people. When it comes to the actual building the jail itself, he's saying that the jailer has, you know, very little to do with the money that actually goes into the actual jail itself. Again, you know, take me back to Mayberry. Take me back to Mayberry when people treated others how they're supposed to treat one another. If you were to put Andy Griffith in jail because, right, the rule of law means nobody's above the law, so no matter how powerful you think you are, you could get arrested and you could go to jail. Nobody's above the law, right? The great binding law. And so you can't, you know, the rule of law says nobody can stand up against it. And the point of all that is that if you were to put somebody you liked in jail, how would they like the conditions of the jail? Are you treating them like fucking people? Or are you treating them like a fucking asshole? And we have to start treating people nicer, being dicks to everybody. If someone's a dick, be a dick back. But I think if you start out by being a dick, you're the one that, you know, made the situation go fucking shitty. And you think you're fucking badass? I saw this one police officer go up to a guy, you know, and just be like, "Oh, what you gonna do?" And then the guy says, I ain't gonna do shit, right? And then the cop, I don't know, the cop started the fucking fight, and then the guy goes to jail. The cop's talking shit to him, and then when he, you know, he didn't talk shit back, but he responded to him. And how dare, you know, when you're just supposed to be a slave, shut up, sit down, be a bitch. That's what they fucking expect out of you. So here's another article, Meade County Messenger. This is a 2010. So Troy Seelye actually has some enemies out there, and I don't know, you know, why. I don't know what this is about. Is he treating people like assholes, or is this some bullshit and he's actually a victim, right? And there's no way to really tell. The story here is just he's a victim 100%, right? So the Meade County jailer Troy Seelye and his family had a pleasant outing on Halloween, trick-or-treating with their children, retiring for the evening around 11 p.m. The sound of shattering glass woke them up about 2:15 a.m. I went to investigate and saw the front door glass was broken, but I didn't want to go outside until units arrived because I didn't know if whoever shot was still out there or not, described Troy Seelye. It appears someone shot the house with what could have been a shotgun, leaving at least 26 holes. 2 of the rounds went into the kitchen of the home and lodged in a wall. Mere feet from the bullets that entered the front door, their 2-year-old child was asleep. He could have been killed, said Troy Seelye in disbelief. The house sits approximately 125 feet off the Brandenburg Road. Troy Seelye did not want to speculate about whether the shooting could be related to the then upcoming election or probably somebody who had been previously jailed. I do know that this wasn't just a prank. A prank is when you maybe shoot somebody's pumpkin. You don't shoot through somebody's house. It sounds a little bit Mayberry-ish, right? So if he would have shot Troy Seelye's pumpkin, he would have been okay. But because they went ahead and, you know, shot through someone's house, well, you could kill a person. That's a serious situation, and it's sad. And it says if it did concern the election, then politics are terrible. Politics are the damnedest in Kentucky, and very much in the county courthouses where it always coalesces whenever you had the bloody feuds out in eastern Kentucky, and it's the powerhouse of the entire county. So, you know, if you don't have a good political system that's saying, come on, come all, come watch what we're doing, we're transparent, we're going to show you everything that's going on, and we want the people to come. A lot of times people get power, and they don't want the fucking people to get there because they like having all the power and making all the decisions, but they don't want the public to actually weigh in on it. As a person, I don't know, as a person who would like, you need to have some democratic legitimacy. So, you know, some people think you get elected to lead the people. So, you know, I was elected, and I'm going to make the decisions for the people because they're not smart enough, they're not paying attention, and I'm going to lead the people. Other people are more, they're representatives, they're a constituent of the people, so that when the people says, we want you to vote this way, then they go vote that way. So, you know, it means that regardless of what their ideology is, they will do what their constituents are. A lot of these politicians don't have any constituents that they're actually asking anybody from. They got their corporations and big business friends and shit, and they all coalesce and, scheme and conspire amongst themselves. But when it actually comes to, you know, fairness. So, Troy Seelye said that in his career as a jailer, he's never received harassing phone calls or anything like this. So, according to Meade County Sheriff William Butch Kerrick, Halloween was otherwise a quiet night with no incidents, minor or major, and KSP are conducting an investigation with assistance from the Sheriff's Department. So, Kentucky State Police, you just had that big-ass article that came out and said that Kentucky State Police are not doing their job. The Kentucky State Police are more corrupt than every other fucking organization out here. And they spent like millions of dollars, and then even in Samantha Ramsey's case, where you have a 19-year-old girl just fucking gunned down by a cop, right? Just killed a fucking girl. He hasn't been charged with a crime. So to have an indictment from a grand jury, you got to have probable cause that a crime occurred. Okay, I was put up for a grand jury. I was walking the street and a cop almost ran into me. He was an undercover. There's no way to tell he was a police officer. But I didn't do anything wrong, and then that, you know, that leads to some other events. But this, essentially, I'm just walking along on the street, and it was jaywalking, and I do go to jail. So I go before the grand jury in Louisville, Kentucky. So I sit in a room with 12 different people, and they judge my case. You know, this bullshit case where I did nothing wrong, just fucking walked to the goddamn store, but I met a fucking cop. And a goddamn criminal cop are the fucking bastards out here, okay? They're just as fucking violent as any of these goddamn fucking hoodlums out here. You know, no matter what, white or black, it doesn't fucking matter. You know, I have to look over my back for fucking criminals on the street and criminals in uniform. It's this, you know, I like it, this democracy is supposed to help us, we the people, but so far it hasn't. My point being, when I was jaywalking, I go to the grand jury. When I was jaywalking, they said this is a felony because they said that, you know, I punched the cops, or I beat up the cops. And so they want to put a felony on me. When they started it, they tried to run into me. They jumped out of the car in the middle of the street. They have a baseball cap and flannel. So they're just assholes. The random fucking thugs, just redneck fucking thugs looking to jump a motherfucker for no fucking apparent reason. Crossing down the street, they almost ran into me, and then because they almost ran into me, I said, you know, I didn't jump out of the way, and that's what pissed them off, because I didn't jump out of the way, because they, you know, I got a car. I'm driving a car. How dare you? You know, you're supposed to jump out of the way when I come through here. Get the fuck out of here. So they're fucking assholes driving, you know, if anything, they put my life at risk and danger that fucking day. But I'm the one that goes in front of the grand jury, and they went ahead and said whether or not there was enough evidence to send me to a jury trial. The grand jury is just the step before the jury trial, okay? And in all cases, all matters should go to a jury trial. That fucking case up in Boone County should go to a jury trial. Of course it is. And everybody has a right to a jury trial. Someone accuses you of a crime, jury trial. So the point being is grand jury was put on me for this fucking jaywalking case to see if, like, you know, I'm a felon, right? To see if there's enough probable cause to justify a jury trial, but they didn't do shit when it came to the Brockman case, right? You got Tyler Brockman in Boone County. So Tyler Brockman shoots Samantha Ramsey. Tyler Brockman kills Samantha Ramsey. There's a dead body. Samantha Ramsey's body's dead, right? She's got gunshots all through her chest. 19-year-old, you know, kindergarten teacher. She's, you know, she was in a field party out in the middle of fucking nowhere, not bothering a goddamn fucking soul. And now she's dead. Do you have probable cause that a crime might have been, it might have happened? Yes, you got plenty of fucking probable cause that a crime might have fucking happened. And they looked at me and said, yes, you know, he's jaywalking and he's cussing. There's probable cause to send him to the grand jury. So you're going to send me to the grand jury, Kentucky, but you ain't going to put Tyler Brockman to the grand jury, an alleged jaywalker. I was crossing, you know, I looked both ways, and I was crossing at a fucking intersection where they didn't have a crosswalk and no light. So I paid attention, looked both ways, and as I was crossing, they pulled a donut in the middle of the fucking road because they're allowed to drive like goddamn Neanderthal psychopaths, and at no point in that process, the merit board, with the fucking internal investigations, with the judge, did they say what really happened, because they didn't give a shit. At no fucking point does the truth or justice ever fucking enter into the criminal justice system. So when it comes to you got, you know, Tyler Brockman fucking murdering people, there's probable cause to put an indictment on a grand jury, which doesn't mean jack shit just because you got an indictment on, you know, they say you can indict a ham sandwich or whatever, which is sort of true, but actually grand jury indictment's a big-ass fucking deal. If you got a fucking person, you know, that's saying that's a felony. You go through the grand jury because you know, just like my case, I was a fucking jaywalker, and you don't want jaywalker cases going through felony charges and putting people behind bars for, you know, fucking many years over some dumb bullshit. That's the point of the fucking grand jury. To throw out the petty dumb shit and throw out the, you know, but if there's felonies that have a probable cause, then they got to put them up for a jury trial. So it's only step one. Once you get the grand jury indictment, then you still need to do the jury trial. So there's still a jury trial that is up for the Boone County court case. So that was, right, that's the jailer's race here in Meade County. And that's going to be exciting. Again, I'd like to see Mayberry. I'd like for people to start treating other people the way that they should be treated. When there's a dispute between two parties, for them to be some sort of peaceful, you know, there's way better fucking ways to do this shit. But then just saying, hey, I'm fucking bigger than you, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. Fuck that type of shit. I'm so tired of fucking fascists. I'm so tired of fucking fascist assholes. That's all you motherfuckers know how to do, you know? And it's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. So, there's, I'm getting all these races from the Meade County Messenger. I'm going to read off these names real fast for the last minute. And then I'm going to sort of analyze this whole thing when I'm looking at here, okay? So, you got the jailer, J.J. Scarborough versus Troy Seelye. The sheriff, William Butch Kerrick versus Stan Heslep, which is the Democrat. Michelle Thompson versus Susan Masterson for the county clerk. Gerry Lynn versus Randy L. Banks for the county judge executive. Jessica Brown Roberts for the county attorney. She's running unopposed. Coroner William R. Billy Adams is running unopposed. He's a Democrat. He's already, so that's Meade County Coroner is William Billy Adams. The county attorney is going to be Jessica Brown Roberts. They run unopposed. They've already won their election. Timothy W. Smith is the surveyor for Meade County. He's a Democrat also. So we got, that's good, right? We got 3 Democrats in office so far. So Timothy W. Smith is a surveyor, and he's running unopposed. I don't like the fact that they're all running unopposed. It shows to me, that says to me that we're not teaching civics to our citizens, and we don't teach civics in Kentucky schools. So we need to teach civics. We need to teach, you know, in our government schools, we need to teach about Kentucky government, so that way we can have you know, we can have good conversations and dialogue, and then out of the great pool of ideas, the best ideas should succeed. So there's some magistrate races going on. It's coming down to the last few seconds here. So there's a whole bunch of, there's some constables and there's magistrate races, so there's lots more coming up.